Today I'll be talking about Lauren Hough? Oh shit. Okay. I don't feel confident about that pronunciation, so please have mercy on me. You know, I'm sure there's a video of someone saying her name, so let's just take a look. Oh no. What is this? What is this? No. I will not be learning about this. You know what? For the sake of this review, I'm not gonna look at this anymore. Let's just keep trucking. How do I say her name? Hough. Lauren Hough. Okay, let's try again. Today I'll be reviewing Lauren Hough's Leaving Isn't the Hardest Thing, a collection of nonfiction essays. The book opens with a kind of disclaimer. In the author's note, she says that her memories aren't truth, but memories of memories. This is a pretty important thing to remember when you're both reading and writing nonfiction. There's a lot of discussion on if there's a meaningful distinction between fiction and nonfiction because real life, like real life, so often resists the kind of structure and clarity we expect from fiction. Real life does not have a clear narrative structure. Sometimes the end comes abruptly. People often do not learn from their past mistakes. Their character does not grow, develop, or have a neat arc. There is often no satisfying conclusion. Trauma is left unresolved, half-healed, shrugged away. Real life kind of blows to read about. In nonfiction, you're trying to create a clear structure, something you want to impart on your audience. You're also working with memory. Even the simplest events can be muddled. Imagine, for example, the last time you spoke with someone, in person or not. Who was it? What was your relationship with them in that moment? What were you thinking about when you wrote those messages or said those words? What were you doing in between those moments? How intently were you listening? How did you feel? Now, how about the person you were talking to? I'm sure we can think of a million interactions where everyone involved walked away with different perceptions of what exactly transpired and different memories of the event. And this is true for even mundane interactions where the misunderstandings or differing perspectives are just a matter of human beings being humans rather than any kind of nefarious motives. Nonfiction tries to take something incredibly messy and fraught, human memory, the human experience, our stupid egos, and present to us one potential truth. For many readers, it is the truth. And this isn't to say that nonfiction writers are out to lie to you. They're not. They, of all people, are deeply aware that their memory has gaps they need to fill in, a narrative that needs to be framed. But Hough's note is there to remind you, dear readers, that we are all working off memories of memories, our best approximation of the truth, and when we're constructing a story, is there much of a difference between that and a complete work of fiction? Shoving that aside, let's finally talk about the book. Lauren Hough's collection of essays chronicle her life from basically her earliest memories to her 30s. She had a particularly unique upbringing, living inside the various communes of the Children of God cult. If that name sounds a little familiar to you, this is the same cult where Rose McGowan, Jeremy Spencer of Fleetwood Mac, and the Phoenix Brothers were raised in. Needless to say, this complicated her life. After leaving the cult, she joined the US military, which still had Don't Ask, Don't Tell enacted at the time. Hough, who had been identified, even as a child, by fellow cult members as a lesbian, was eventually the target of hate crimes, receiving death threats and having her car torched. A lot happens after this. I won't give you the whole rundown, but it's all a pretty rough time. She has her drug-fueled ups and downs, romances that are actually just domestic abuse, sexual violence, a stint in jail. It's like the worst possible laundry list. Hough's prose is extremely clean and makes for easy reading. I think I read the book over the course of maybe 5 or 6 hours. Her sentences are quite short, actually, so that also helps with readability. On the other hand, I'm kind of on and off about these sentences. Sometimes I barely noticed the consistently short sentence lengths, and other times it felt so jarring I was irritated the whole scene. It's fine to go on a little bit longer, just a couple words more, it's okay, it's fine. I would probably err on the side of preferring the short sentence length as a matter of making this an incredibly easy read for a wide variety of readers, but I'm also a hipster and up my own ass, and I miss some lush sentences. Her style here is direct, but not particularly filled with imagery. But it actually kind of works, I promise. It gives her voice this kind of constantly angry, on-edge vibe. And why the fuck wouldn't it? She has plenty of impotent anger that has nowhere to go. In the final essay of the collection, Everything That's Beautiful Breaks My Heart, the vibe takes a turn. Prior to this, for the most part, the essays were extremely intimate, sticking to Hough's life, her many downs and not enough ups, her personal relationships, and a sprinkling of the political as it relates to her life. In the final essay, we get a much wider critique. Hough draws some parallels between cult tactics and contemporary topics like the Trump administration and like the state of the discourse on the internet. It isn't particularly that I think this section is wrong or that I necessarily disagree with the things she says. It simply felt jarring because the scale of the rest of the essays had been so small, so specific as it wrapped around her childhood and young adulthood. This shift to American politics as a whole, the internet, and presidential administrations felt kind of jarring, changing the scale from small to gigantic. So what saith I? Yea or nay? Of course, I finished the book. I wouldn't review it if I hadn't finished it. Like I said, this book was really easy to read. I basically inhaled it. That's always a good quality in the book, regardless of how I may feel about the short sentences. But does it spark joy? Marie Kondo may be tired by having 3 kids, but I hold strong. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, hold on. Let me sleep on this. I'll sleep on this, and then I'll know the answer.
24 hours later.
Okay, good morning. I'm back. I had a pretty good sleep. I had some breakfast. I ate egg and tea. I am down to clown. The answer to the question is a very begrudging no. This one was pretty close for me, just barely not making it. Despite this, it was an enjoyable read. If you're looking for more unique perspectives, from a working class perspective, a butch lesbian's perspective, the perspective of a former cult member, Lauren Hough's essay collection will no doubt keep you reading for at least those 4 to 6 hours you're wolfing it down.